Snow coming down here in Denver, but the field is in good shape. It wasn't snowing during the warm-ups, so it's coming down now pretty good. As you can see, the wind is only at 4 miles an hour. Steven Gostowski will kick off. New England won the toss. As usual, they deferred. Pyro over Sports Authority Field, which opened in 2001. Supplanting the old Mile High Stadium, and off we go from the Rockies. At the goal line, this is Omar Bolden. And Bolden will get taken down up at the 19-yard line. Wilson making the tackle. Brock Osweiler, he's in his 4th year here. They drafted him in 2012 out of Arizona State. Before that, as you can see, his father is here with the orange cap. He and his mother drove last week. They couldn't get a flight from Denver to Chicago because of the weather conditions, so they drove all night, got there and watched their boy win the game at Soldier Field. And they start on the ground, and right there to plant him is Ninkovich. Ronnie Hillman, before he can even get started, gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage.
Right to the inside against Schofield, who is a guy that we'll have to keep an eye on tonight. That sort of elite quickness inside. Both of these offensive lines, something we're going to have to watch this evening, because these defenses are tremendous.
A little bit of an early statement from that Patriot D. And now Osweiler throws, and that'll be caught up at the 22-yard line. Emmanuel Sanders, back after missing last week's game with an ankle injury, made the catch. Osweiler made his first career start on his 25th birthday and won the game. And as we say, he played very well. It's easy to say, well, he managed the game, and Kubiak gave him a great game plan. Didn't try to do anything crazy. Didn't turn it over. As Chris mentioned, AFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Yeah, he said the rest of my birthdays probably be downhill after that one.
Have to be. And they spread it out. They go 4 receivers now set to the left side. There's your Omaha call. That was not patented by Manning. And on 3rd and 6, it is incomplete. Andre Caldwell was adjusting on the play, and Harmon is there for the coverage. Then it's a quick 3 and out.
Yeah, it looked like Patrick Chung back there running with him stride for stride. And I think Patrick Chung has been one of the really great untold stories of this Patriots defense. His coverage ability, maybe a little surprising for some in New England, has made a huge difference this year.
Now Britton Colquitt to do the punting. It was fun to be the Broncos punter, getting to kick in half your games at 5,280 feet. Chris Harper is back to receive, and it's a very short kick that doesn't even get into New England territory. So a bad start for the Broncos. Here come the Patriots on the plus side of the 50. Their start is here.
Tom Brady, Michigan.
LeGarrette Blount, Taylor County High School.
JoJo LaFell, LSU.
Keyshawn Martin, Michigan State.
Rob Gronkowski, Arizona.
Scott Chandler, Iowa.
Sebastian Ballmer, University of Houston.
Shaq Mason, Georgia Tech.
Brian Stork, Florida State.
Josh Klein, Kent State.
Marcus Cannon, Texas Christian University.
Mixing and matching all season long up front. So a great start for the Patriots. They have the ball at the 47, and the pass is caught by Brandon LaFell, who gets ridden down by T.J. Ward after a gain of 4. Tom Brady, 25 or more touchdown passes, 11 seasons. We could show you 18 million things that he has done. 4 Super Bowl trophies. Maybe he wins another MVP. He and Cam Newton right now, right up at the top. 2nd down and 6. And he has to do it with a short deck with Amendola not here tonight, and Edelman won't be here for a few weeks. And that is caught by Gronkowski. And of course, there's one guy he can always count on, and that's the first down of the game.
Well, anytime you're going to get Rob Gronkowski on a linebacker, this time Brandon Marshall. Marshall, a very good inside backer, good coverage, but no match there. We'll see how many more times they're willing to go one-on-one. This is a bit of a man coverage team. We saw it against Green Bay. they're going to allow their corners, Chris Harris, Akeem Talib, Bradley Roby, all to play one-on-one on the outside. It's going to be up to those tight ends to make plays inside.
That was a gain of 10. Brady with a good clean pocket, flips it to the outside. LaFell makes the catch and spins back. Forward progress will net him a first down before he's tackled at the 24-yard line by Chris Harris.
Yeah, they understand that they're not going to have a lot of opportunities to win just one-on-one with their wide receivers outside. So what you'll see tonight, a lot of different little bunch and stack formations like that. They don't want these corners doing what they do best, which is coming down on the line of scrimmage, playing bump and run, and taking advantage of the receiver.
Cameron Fleming is eligible, number 71. James White is in the backfield. He's the running back. And Brady will fire it to the outside, and that's caught by Grunt, breaking tackles, and New England has scored 3.5 minutes into the game. Per usual, a resounding spike by Gronkowski. That's 23 yards for the touchdown. And for Rob Gronkowski, it's his 9th touchdown catch of the season.
Well, you're going to go one-on-one with Gronkowski, and you're going to pay a price for it. Here, Darian Stewart on the outside, just right there. Really didn't even make an effort. Then he shakes off T.J. Ward. You know, when you don't have some of the other weapons in there with Edelman out and Amendola out, I thought that Gronkowski was going to see all kinds of coverage. Not so far.
Well, last week, Buffalo did a great job on him as he caught only 2 balls in New England's 7-point win at Foxborough. Now Gostowski for the extra point. Perfect start from New England. They deferred. They stopped them on a 3-and-out, got the ball at the 48. In they go, and just like that, it's New England 7 and Denver nothing. Patriots have the best record in the 4 major North American sports since Kraft took over. San Antonio Spurs of the NBA would be second. Spurs were in town, beat the Nuggets on Friday night. And here are the Patriots tonight at Sports Authority Field as Omar Bolden takes a knee in the end zone. Let's take a look at the Denver offense.
Brock Osweiler, Arizona State.
Ronnie Hillman, San Diego State.
Demarius Thomas, Georgia Tech.
Emmanuel Sanders, SMU.
Owen Daniels on Wisconsin.
Vernon Davis, University of Maryland.
Brian Harris, Our Lady, Notre Dame. Max Garcia, Florida.
Matt Paradis, Boise State.
Luis Vasquez, Texas Tech.
Michael Schofield, Michigan.
Evan Mathis shaken and not starting tonight, but available to play. The longtime guard formerly with Philadelphia, as Osweiler swings it out to the right side and trying to find some room. None there. Ronnie Hillman taken down by Dante Hightower.
Well, there's no question without Jamie Collins in the lineup, it is going to be on Dante Hightower to be a force. And you talked to Matt Patricia, the defensive coordinator, and he said, I'm trying to line him up in as many places as I possibly can. Jamie Collins was the guy that would handle the responsibility, covering the backs, covering the tight ends, a great blitzer. And now so much of that is falling onto Hightower.
2nd down and 10 from the 20-yard line. 3 receivers were set to the left, and that is Ronnie Hillman taken down by Branch. And let's take a look at that New England defense.
Rob Ninkovich, Purdue.
Alan Branch, University of Michigan.
Malcolm Brown, Texas.
Chandler Jones, Syracuse University.
Gerard Mayo, Tennessee.
Jonathan Franey, Rutgers.
Dante Hightower, the University of Alabama.
Malcolm Butler, West Alabama University.
Patrick Chung, the Ducks.
Devin McCourty, Rutgers.
Logan Ryan, Rutgers.
And the architect of that defense, Matt Patricia, has watched his team. They've been pretty healthy on the offensive side of the ball. A lot of injuries, a ton, and very significant ones. Defensively, they've been pretty healthy, except for the loss of Collins. On 3rd and 11, Osweiler trying to find some room, and he's going to be chased down and stopped by Rob Ninkovich. So the Denver Broncos have now run a total of 6 plays for 3 yards.
Well, you'll see this from Brock Osweiler's perspective. Everybody's sprinting down the field, nothing there. And I think for Osweiler, he is going to have to get his nerves settled here early. I know that it's always tempting to take off and run with the football, but he's really going to have to start seeing this field here pretty quickly because this is a fantastic defense from New England. It's making them look bad so far.
Now Colquitt, whose last punt was 25 yards, something you almost never see in this ballpark. It's going a little bit better. Fielded at the 40-yard line. This is Chris Harper, and he'll get run out of bounds in front of the New England bench at the 50-yard line. Pats with the ball and a 7-0 lead in Denver. New England on its first drive. Brady 4 for 4 for 47 yards and a Gronkowski touchdown pass. Start this drive from the 49, and that pass is behind and then dropped. That is Scott Chandler, tight end, came over from Buffalo in the offseason to work the other side of the line with Gostowski. Really hasn't caught many balls this year, but Tom feels that he can really work him more into the lineup now, especially in the absence of a guy like Amendola and with Edelman gone, of course.
Yeah, and I'm sure Wade Phillips is going to try to begin to take away those easy throws from Tom Brady, because this pass rush is arguably the best in football right now. So you have to try and take away the quick stuff and force Tom to hold that ball.
You saw those numbers, and those are stellar for Wade Phillips' defense, and then that pass is incomplete, intended for Chandler again. Let's take a look at that Bronco D.
Derek Wolf, Cincinnati.
Sylvester Williams, North Carolina.
Malik Jackson, Tennessee.
Vaughn Miller, Texas A&M.
Brandon Marshall, Nevada.
Danny Trevathan, Kentucky.
Shaq Barrett, Colorado State.
Akeem Talib, Kansas.
TJ Ward, Oregon.
Darian Stewart, South Carolina.
Chris Harris Jr., Kansas Jayhawks.
James White in the backfield now on 3rd and 10. White scored 2 touchdowns in the Monday Nighter, one on the ground and one in the air, and then the pass is caught on the outside, but a gain of only a couple there by Brandon Bolden. So that Bronco defense does its job here after yielding the touchdown on their first drive, 4th and 8.
What a great play by Bradley Roby. He saw that thing early and did not hesitate. He shot right through the receiver to make a huge play, and that's more like it from the Denver defense standpoint. That first drive didn't look like anything they'd done all year.
Omar Bolden is back to receive. Ryan Allen sends this one up into the air, and it bounces down the sideline and then goes out of bounds, and we'll see where they'll spot it. But Osweiler will start deep in his own territory. And they mark the ball at the 11-yard line. Well, Gary Kubiak comes to town. It's a different kind of offense. With Peyton Manning, he was only under center 15% of the time in the pistol or short shotgun, 35% half the time in the shotgun. Now with Osweiler, he's been under center 3/4 of the time. So people were talking about Kubiak comes in, could Peyton adjust to his offense? They kind of built a little bit of a hybrid. They were rolling, especially in that Green Bay game. But now with Osweiler, they're running more of what Gary has run through the years in Houston and Baltimore.
But it's all predicated upon being able to run the football, and so far they haven't done that at all.
They haven't gotten the first down yet, but C.J. Anderson says, let me try to take care of that. And he gets 9. Out to the 21-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 1.
Now that's what the stretch play is supposed to look like. They get everybody running horizontally. So here's everybody, the defense runs, and now the back can go back and with some cutback lanes here. That's what this offense is supposed to look like. You get that going, then you get the bootlegs, you get the play action. That's Gary Kubiak's offense.
Now they have 3 tight ends in. Last week they used 2 tight ends on 2/3 of the plays. And trying to angle his way is C.J. Anderson for a first down, and appears to just have gotten it.
You know, we talked about some of the reshuffled offensive line for the Patriots. Well, the same thing has really been true for the Denver Broncos as well. They have had to make some major changes. Ryan Harris, the left tackle, is their 3rd left tackle. Max Garcia playing tonight for Evan Mathis, who has the ankle issue.
Play action, that buys a lot of time, and then the pass is taken in at the 35-yard line by Emmanuel Sanders. He gets whacked by McCourty and holds on, and it's a gain of 22 yards.
A deep over route here by Sanders, but that was a rocket from Brock Osweiler. I mean, he reared back and threw that ball hard. It barely got a few yards off the ground, and Devin McCourty is probably one of the fastest guys playing the free safety position sideline to sideline, and not even he could get there on that one.
Osweiler is 6 feet 8. Boot to the right side, and that'll be a 6-yard gain to the 49-yard line. Cody Latimer, second-year guy drafted in the second round last year from Indiana, scored a touchdown last week. Gain of 7, 2nd and 3.
Isn't it amazing? You get this thing going. Now you come out this way with it, and this is full effect now. You have seen this before with the Baltimore Ravens and Joe Flacco. It's exactly what they did. And now Osweiler, with that basketball background of his, very comfortable throwing on the move.
2nd and 3. Under 6 to play in the quarter. To the ground again, and then finding a big seam and picking up the first down is C.J. Anderson behind a Michael Schofield block.
Now these interior guys starting to get some movement down here, and once again the cutback lane is there. Nice job on the backside by Ryan Harris, cutting it off there to allow that cutback to happen.
Now Ronnie Hillman comes in as the running back from the 41-yard line. They give it to Hillman going left, and Ronnie gets bottled up again. That is Alan Branch making the tackle at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and one of the weapons now that the Denver Broncos have at their disposal is Vernon Davis. This is the first time, yeah, it's one thing to go run Gary Kubiak's offense, but that was so dependent on having 2 tight ends that could get vertical down the field in a hurry. Now number 80, Vernon Davis, is a guy that gives them that additional threat along with Owen Daniels.
2nd and 9 to the outside, too high for Demaryius Thomas. First time that their leading receiver has been targeted tonight. 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, Gary Kubiak's a guy that it was interesting to see how this team built this, wasn't it? It was some hybrid system that kind of made Peyton happy, and a little bit of that, and the pistol, and the whole bit. But there was some good that came out of it, because there were some new formations that were introduced to this offense because of Peyton Manning that now they've incorporated into the offense that they feel pretty good against the Patriots with.
It's funny, they were 7-0 at one point. A lot of people thought they looked like they were 0-7. But they got it together. 3rd down and 9, and then is caught on the run, and trying to get the first down is Benny Fowler, but he's going to come up a little bit short at the 32-yard line. Tackled there by Rashawn Melvin. So now let's see. Kubiak with his first big decision.
I think they're going to measure that one. That one's
close, but
yeah.
I don't think he has it. We'll get Paul McGuire out of retirement. Paul always used to be able to figure this out. Yeah,
absolutely.
Gave him a pretty good spot. So
yeah, I thought it was a tad short too. But this, I'll tell you, I like this Benny Fowler kid. It looked like he was not even going to get close to that line, and he just kept driving.
Yeah, really. This is one of those things. If he has a first down, you wonder if Belichick is going to challenge this. But let's take a peek here. Couple of links. Of course, the crowd, as is always the case in every ballpark, wants them to go for it on 4th and inches.
Yeah, but then they boo if you don't get it.
Of course.
This is a stud front here for the New England Patriots. They have some big guys up front. Alan Branch, Silver Salinga, Keem Hicks, Chandler Jones. We've already seen what Ninkovich can do. This is going to be a challenge for this offensive line.
Because if nothing else, they will line up to go for it. C.J. Anderson.
Osweiler's arms are so long, and just raise up and do the old Tom Brady, right? Just stick his arms out.
All right, here we go. 4th and inches. Oh, he sends Hillman out of the backfield, and he'll keep it himself and pick up the first down by plenty. Kept the legs moving, picks up 2, first down Denver.
Yeah, you always wonder when you send everybody out of the backfield, who are you fooling at that point? The one play you're looking for then is the quarterback sneak, but this is a big guy, you know. I mean, he's big and strong and powerful and been under center a lot. Maybe you don't run that play with Peyton Manning so well.
6'8", about 240. Whoa. Another good hole here. So C.J. Anderson has really given them a boost here early on. Second down at the 23-yard line, second down and 4.
What a shot C.J. Anderson put on Logan Ryan at the end of this. Watch him drop this shoulder and just go wham. There is the leading tackler right there for the New England Patriots. Believe it or not, their cornerback, Logan Ryan, and that was big time from Anderson.
Second and 4. Probing the outside, and Hillman is thrust out of bounds after a gain of a couple. It's Anderson for a gain of about 2. It'll be third down, and let's call it 3. Third and 3 now for Denver.
Yeah, if you're going to stop some of these stretch runs, you have to play this like Rob Ninkovich just did and just hammer down off the edge. Set it and build a wall right there. That's what they're looking for. Now, this does bounce out and around, but by that point, his help was able to get there. But they're really looking for these outside guys, Hightower and Ninkovich, Jabal Sheard, to hammer that edge and allow everybody to catch up from the inside.
Broncos go 3 by 1 on the left side, but there's a little bit of confusion as they line up. So Denver takes a timeout just before a 3rd and 2 when we come back. Third and a deuce. And Osweiler under pressure and escapes for the moment. But it's Jonathan Freeney comes bursting through just for a moment. Osweiler able to escape, but not for long. And the 4th-year backer out of Rutgers takes him down for a 14-yard sack.
And you can't do this. They're in easy field goal range, and this is what he did too much against Chicago a week ago. All the great things that he did in that game, when he got a little confused or unsettled, he tended to hold the ball, and it just cost him at least 3 points there.
So they made it on a 4th and inches. We're in field goal range, and right now they're forced to have their 3rd punt of the game off the foot of Britton Colquitt. And that bounds into the end zone. So that was a 12-play drive that results in nothing. Patriots have it when we come back, leading 7-0 in Denver.
Back in Denver, I'm Michelle Tafoya, and this is the viral video of the holiday. And when I asked Tom Brady why he dressed up like a turkey and scared his children on Thanksgiving, he laughed and said, "I wasn't intending to scare them." He felt bad when he saw the reaction of his 3-year-old daughter, Vivian, but his 6-year-old son, Benjamin, invited the turkey into the house to have dinner with him, and later his daughter watched the video over and over saying, "What a cute turkey."
Michelle, it's the only time Tom Brady could ever be described as a turkey. He starts this drive from the 20-yard line. Under pressure, down he goes. He gets sacked by number 95, Derek Wolfe. Brady hit the deck a ton of times against Buffalo last week. First time tonight.
I can't believe what Derek Wolfe has done since he's come back. He was suspended 4 games early on, and he was always known as a run player and a really top-end one. And for some reason, now that he's back, he has become this unbelievable pass rusher and having a great impact on this defense. That was big to get after Tom early.
Second-round pick. Wolfe was out of Cincinnati in 2012. Patriots have not had a running play, and here's a penalty. And for the moment, Gronkowski will have a first down. But for the first time tonight, we will hear the voice of Tony Correnti.
Substitution offense. Number 71 came into the game and did not report as an eligible receiver.
Well, he did not report, but you saw the other official come in and say maybe he did report. We've seen this happen before.
All it takes is somebody to see him sort of rubbing his chest. That's the signal that means I'm an eligible receiver. And if some official raises his hand and goes, okay, I got it.
It's been reported that number 71 did report as an eligible receiver. The ruling on the field is completed pass, first down.
We have it, and you can take a look at it here.
All right, here he comes in right there. Let's see if he's rubbing his chest. That's it. Absolutely, it was. No question.
So the play counts. It is a pickup of 21 yards to the 33-yard line. The Patriots have run 9 plays tonight.
Eligible.
All of them passes. Now Tony Correnti announces that Fleming is eligible.
I think Fleming's probably thinking, thank God I didn't have to go back over and report to Bill Belichick.
So is Mason at fullback. And this is a 2-yard gain. First time we've seen LeGarrette Blount, their leading rusher, carry the ball tonight. Their first rushing play, gain of 2, 2nd and 8. The Patriots this season, almost 2/3 pass to run. It's the lowest running rate in team history. So Tom Brady, of course, has had that arm limbered all season long. Meanwhile, Sylvester Williams and Ward is down as well. There's the nose tackle, Sylvester Williams, who has to come off. T.J. Ward was also shaken on the play. Vance Walker comes in along the defensive front, and David Bruton comes in the secondary. So you got 2 starters out for the moment for the Broncos.
Trey Jackson just bent Sylvester Williams back and ended up getting T.J. Ward as well. It was a 2-for-1 shot.
So Brady goes 5 wide on 2nd down and 8. 4-man rush, caught over the middle on the run. That is Brandon Bolden taking it out to the 50-yard line, and that will probably take us to the end of the quarter unless Brady wants to hurry it up here. And indeed, we will move on to the second stanza. End of 1. The New England Patriots 7, the Denver Broncos nothing. And Sunday Night Football from Denver resumes after these messages. Start the second quarter in Denver. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle DeFoya. Sunday Night Football. It's 1st and 10 for the Patriots from their own 49-yard line. Brady swings it to the outside, and then is caught there by Asante Cleveland. Just activated. Shaquille Barrett makes the tackle. Gain of 1.
Yeah, and you can see already what the game plan is here from Josh McDaniels. He's going to try and force these linebackers that are used to playing man coverage, but in unusual situations. On the prior play, Brandon Bolden was flanked all the way out with Danny Trevathan on him. Motion in, a little rub. Make those guys make plays they're not used to making. 2nd and 9, Josh McDaniels, the offensive coordinator, was the head coach here in 09 and part of 10. Brady. And that's broken up. Keyshawn Martin flag is thrown, however. Aqib Talib was covering on the play. You got 2 flags, both in the secondary. And Tony Correnti will get it sorted out. And that's Ward and Williams
There are fouls
both going
against
off.
both teams that will offset. Pass interference, defense number 21. Pass interference, offense number 87, blocking downfield. These penalties will offset. Replay 2nd down.
It looked like Talib was pretty clean knocking the ball away. Maybe he hooked that back arm. Yeah, you can see it right there as he tried to grab the backside arm there. And here's Gronkowski, just comes off and sort of plows right into Brandon Marshall, and they got him for that one.
So that makes it 2nd down and 9 at the 50-yard line. First minute of the second quarter. And Brady surveying, sliding to his left, throws, and that's incomplete. You know, you look at the Patriots and everybody's going, what are they going to do? You got Edelman is hurt. That's a big blow. Yet Amendola, he's gone, at least for tonight. But you keep forgetting you got Gronkowski. LaFell's pretty good too, and you can still throw to the running backs, and they just figure out a way to beat you.
And you got number 12 back there, so that's not a bad place to start. Yeah. But we just saw it there again, that they are not going to let Gronkowski get the one-on-one that he got on that first drive. I'm not sure why that happened on that first drive, but I'd be surprised if that happens much more this game.
They were pretty stunning. 3rd and 9, and Brady fires, and that is hauled in by Keyshawn Martin, but he looks at the sticks and he is close to a first down. Let's see if they give it to him. Nope, he's going to be about a yard short. So Martin, who started the season with the Houston Texans, and tonight would be Brady's number 2 wide receiver, comes up a little bit short 4th down, and Allen is into punt.
But he is their number 1 slot guy tonight, so he really takes the job of Amendola and Edelman inside. He's going to have to make big plays.
Omar Bolden is back. Flag is thrown, and that bounds into the end zone. So before Osweiler takes over, we'll find out here where they will start this drive.
Well, covering Matthew Slater, the perennial Pro Bowler on the outside, you see that little jersey pull and drove him right out of bounds on an utterly meaningless play. You can't keep blocking out of bounds
During
either.
the return of the kick, unsportsmanlike conduct, personal foul. Number 21 went out of bounds, blocked the gunner out of bounds. This penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal, first down.
And it'll cost them a few, and they'll start the drive from deep in their own territory. Little thumbnail for you. Brock Osweiler offered a basketball scholarship to Gonzaga. He grew up in Montana, played football at Arizona State, 09 through 11. Single season record, passes, completions, pass yards, and percentage. 6'8". Dan McGuire, who was the brother of baseball's Mark McGuire, was the other 6'8" quarterback years ago. And Osweiler starts from the 10-yard line after the penalty. Vernon Davis gained a 5. Osweiler, he had to pick between football and basketball. He loved football more. He was offered scholarships to Stanford. Jim Harbaugh recruited him. Arizona State and Florida State. He picked Arizona State because his parents loved to see him play, go to every game. There they are. And there was a nonstop flight in those years between Kalispell, Montana, and Phoenix to make it easier for them to get there.
Nobody can understand that logic more than you and me.
You bet. No, you don't want to make any connections.
He is an entertaining guy. Gary Kubiak asked him to give a speech to the team. He said, I've been on the team for 4 years. The long snapper had given a speech, and I still hadn't. He was honored to do it. He said, I really appreciate that 5 minutes that he gave me to think about it beforehand. And everybody said he was a cool customer, entertained him, and gave him great confidence going into that Chicago game.
If you're around him, it's not too big for him.
No, for sure.
3rd down and 4 from the 16-yard line. Good clean pocket, but then somehow it gets batted up in the air and picked off at the 20-yard line. So the 6'8" quarterback has it batted at the line of scrimmage, and New England takes over at the 20-yard line. Chandler Jones got his hand on it.
Jabal Sheard right here on the outside of this thing is going to get the pressure right up and around and get his hand on the arm of Osweiler. Then that thing shoots straight up in the air, and one of the best athletes around, Chandler Jones, is going to go rebound a little bit. Said, take that, Gonzaga. And that was what you didn't want to have happen. So they drive the length of the field. He takes the sack. They have to punt it away. The Patriots drive down. There's no field advantage whatsoever out of that, and now the Patriots are in business.
Sheard with the assist. Jones with the goal. First down at the 15-yard line. White and Bolden flank Brady in the backfield. And coming across the line, and that will get a whistle. Von Miller unabated unless he was induced.
Neutral zone infraction, unabated to the quarterback. Defense number 58. 5-yard penalty remains, first down.
Let's go to Michelle.
Well, TJ Ward and Sylvester Williams, you saw them both leave the field on a cart. Both are questionable with ankle injuries. They are in the x-ray room. Sylvester Williams has had his done. Ward just went in, so we'll get the results as soon as we can, Al.
All right, Michelle, 2 starters missing, and of course they're minus DeMarcus Ware with a back injury, and he's missing his 4th game in 6 weeks. Through the middle on a 1st and short goes James White. That'll make it 2nd down and 4.
You know, a lot of new looks on this offensive line. They were not good a week ago, so now they bring Sebastian Vollmer, who usually plays right tackle, to left tackle. They put Marcus Cannon, who had struggled with that right big toe of his, from right tackle to left tackle, so there wouldn't be as much pressure on that toe. We watched the tape. He barely would put that right foot in the ground, and it really hurt him playing left tackle last week. Looks much better now on the right side.
Play clock at 2 on a 2nd and 4 to the outside, and that's caught there by White, but he gets taken down by Danny Trevathan, and it will be 3rd down and 4.
Yeah, Danny Trevathan made a heck of an interception last week against the Chicago Bears, running with the tight end down the middle of the field. And these linebackers are going to be key. They're good cover guys, but Tom Brady clearly wants to get his backs and tight ends working on those guys. Let's see if he attacks there again.
Yeah, Brady really took shot after shot last week. He said later it was 3.5 hours of agitation, but they won the game. 3rd and 4. Clean pocket, and then free for the touchdown is Chandler, Scott Chandler. So Tom Brady able to exploit the weaknesses in that secondary. Ward out, Chandler is able to get free, touchdown New England.
And there's Bruton, the replacement for TJ Ward. That was just a 2-deep zone defense, not contact, not allowing Chandler to get outside of him. Should have been Von Miller, who probably has absolutely no experience doing that. When he allowed that outside release, it was just pitch and catch for Tom Brady.
The former Buffalo Bill with his 3rd touchdown catch as a Patriot. So both New England touchdowns tonight scored by the tight ends. The interception sets it up. Gostowski for the extra point, and with 10:40 to go in the opening half, New England out on the road in the altitude. There's the pick, 14-0. Touchback here. Let's take a look at the what the adornment is on the foot of Peyton Manning out before the game. Could there be another Manning Brady? Well, I guess if Peyton comes back and they meet in the playoffs, then you could have 17.
Yeah, it's a legitimate cast on there, a little fiberglass, and obviously they're trying to get that thing healed up and hoping that Brock Osweiler can hold the fort. He hasn't done too badly. His big mistakes, though, just like a week ago, have come from holding the football when he hasn't found the first receiver open.
Begin this drive from the 20-yard line and back to the ground where they were effective earlier. Anderson gains 3, and we go to Michelle again.
Well, guys, here's what Peyton Manning's dealing with. The plantar fascia attaches the front of the heel to the beginning of the toes, forming the base of the arch in the foot. Manning's is tearing away from his heel, resulting in stabbing pain, and the majority of it is in the area we've highlighted there. He's in a walking cast, as you mentioned, for at least another week to promote healing. Pain management will be the biggest concern once he returns, guys.
Ain't no fun. We know that. 2nd down and 7. And Osweiler is going to send it deep downfield, and it's batted away at the last moment. That's Malcolm Butler, the Super Bowl hero, batting it away from Emmanuel Sanders. It'll be 3rd and 7.
You know, Malcolm Butler is probably allowed as many or more passing yards than anybody on this defensive secondary. But let me tell you what they've done to this guy. He always has the toughest assignment. Make no mistake about it. Other guys have played well in the secondary. This guy is the Darrelle Revis of this football team right now, and he's done a fantastic job.
Meanwhile, Demaryius Thomas has been quiet tonight. He's only been targeted 1 time. 3rd and 7. And Osweiler will throw, and that'll be caught, but well short of the first play. Anderson, well, he has other ideas, and he's able to pick up a couple of more, but still shy of the first down, and another Denver punt upcoming.
Really nice hustle that time by the Patriots defense. It looked like Patrick Chung was going to have him wrapped up, and then he escapes and would have picked up the first down if the rest of the defense had not been hustling. You'll see Rob Ninkovich flying over here. Chung gets the first shot. A little stiff arm, you get off of me, but luckily Ninkovich was hustling and made the play.
Fourth punt of the game for Britton Colquitt. And Chris Harper, a rookie from California, one of the 3 wide receivers active tonight, pulls it in at the 18-yard line and brings it back to the 24. 9:21 to the half in Denver. 14-0 New England.
Former Broncos head coach Josh McDaniels has come up with a good plan here tonight. They are putting these linebackers in difficult coverage situations that they may not be used to being in. Paid off for a touchdown here on the back end. It was sort of a 2 safety deep look, and instead of Von Miller funneling that receiver back to the inside, led him to the outside. The safety had no chance whatsoever. Mistakes made, maybe in part to the fact that T.J. Ward out of the game now.
From the 24-yard line, Brady fires it incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski. Yeah, McDaniels was here. It wasn't a pretty partnership, he and Jay Cutler, and that's why Cutler left. And Josh was fired in the middle of the 2010 season. Got back to New England under Belichick, and I would say right now, Chris, he'd be one of the hot assistants in the offseason.
I think he is the hot assistant, and I asked him about it, and he said, I talked to Tony Dungy, I talked to Bill Belichick, I said, what's your advice? He said, they all said own it, accept the fact that you failed and grow from it. He said, I know now it's all about people, relationships, and patience, and making good decisions. I think I'll be much better next time.
2nd and 10. Good protection for Brady. Caught 28-yard line. Good tackle made there by Shaquille Barrett on James White. Upcoming is a 3rd down and 5.
Well, what do you do if you have one of the best pass rushers in football outside? You bring in an extra offensive lineman. Why not? There's Cameron Fleming doing a good job protecting that edge. And then there's Shaq Barrett, who's really done a pretty tremendous job filling in for DeMarcus Ware on the other side, making the play.
Again, that defense minus Ward, minus Williams. Ware inactive tonight. So Wade Phillips has had the mix and match. Empty backfield on a 3rd and 5. 4-man rush. Pass is caught, but a great tackle is made there. Gronkowski tackled by Darian Stewart, former Baltimore Raven, and it's 4th and 3.
Talk about shot out of a cannon. Darian Stewart, who's really had a nice season this year. Watch him read this all the way. He knew exactly what was coming the minute that Gronk started down inside, and I'm sure Gronk's probably thinking that might have been T.J. Ward. T.J. Ward was the guy that initially injured his knee on a low blow just about like that.
Now Ryan Allen sending it down toward Omar Bolden from the 16. Bolden brings it back to the 23-yard line. From the 23-yard line, C.J. Anderson gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage by Jamal Sheard. 2nd down and long.
Well, you're going to see Malcolm Brown lining up right here, who's starting to make more and more plays. They're looking for knockbacks. That's what they call them. We need knockbacks out of our defensive linemen up front. Salinga and Branch, and that time Malcolm Brown provided a knockback.
Osweiler over the middle, and he finds one of his tight ends there. That is Owen Daniels. Daniels has spent his entire career with Gary Kubiak in Houston for years. Then when Gary went to Baltimore last year as the offensive coordinator, he went there. And then when Gary comes here, he brought Daniels with him. That's a 1st down.
Yeah, 2-time Pro Bowler. They've had a good relationship. And when we have seen Brock Osweiler throw the ball on time, when his first receiver is open, He's looked really good, don't you think, Al?
Mm-hmm.
And then when he's had to hold it and find a second or a third, I think a little panic sets in, and he hasn't been quite as good.
From the 34-yard line, there's a nice hole exploited by C.J. Anderson. Feels a little slippery here. Gain of 8.
Now let's go back and take a look at Osweiler and his throwing motion. Pretty classic, right there over the top, tight, no wasted motion. And then watch how he sort of gets rid of the ball very quickly. For a guy 6'7", that is a quick release time. But it's the downward trajectory that I think is the most interesting. If he threw it at his level all the time, receivers would be forced to catch balls above their head.
First down, Anderson. I think you shrunk him. He's 6'8".
What did I say?
6'7".
Yeah, okay.
And 5/8.
There you go.
Rounded off. That's a first down up at the 47-yard line with less than 6 to play in the half.
Well, C.J. Anderson's not shrinking at all. He is driving that thing up in there pretty hard. And when they had that successful drive, it was because they were able to run the football much like that.
Set. 14 runs, 14 passes thus far for Denver. And trying to get some room to the outside. Ronnie Hillman, but they've bottled him up all night. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, more shuffling on that Broncos offensive line. Right guard Luis Vasquez is questionable with a groin injury, so Max Garcia has moved over to right, and Evan Mathis, who has been dealing with an ankle injury, is in at left guard, guys.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So
poor Evan Mathis.
I tell you, yeah.
He hasn't been healthy not 1 second this entire year. His hamstring was so bad. It was black from the entire length of his leg. He was still playing. Hurts his ankle, was going to take the week off, and not so much.
Number 69, the former Philadelphia Eagle in his 11th year, fired over the middle, and that will be caught for a first down. Emmanuel Sanders, who's been Osweiler's main man tonight, tackled by Butler, and that will be a first down at the 39.
There you go. Ronnie Hillman's going to pick that one up. Let's see if this is a catch. Does he hold on all the way? Looks pretty good to me.
It would have to be challenged to be overturned, and Belichick has heard from the guys upstairs, you're not going to win it from the 39-yard line. This is Hillman. Hillman just can't get going tonight. Anderson's gained 41 yards, and Hillman on 6 carries has net 0.
Well, Hillman is much more of the explosive player, and he's gotten better as a pass protector, which has given him a chance to play more on third down. But make no mistake, C.J. Anderson is the big guy in this backfield, and you get a little bit of snow on the field, and you get all this stuff going, and he's the guy that can break an arm tackle for you occasionally and pick up that extra yardage.
180! What's that? Play action, dump it off. Daniels makes the catch, and Owen Daniels picks up his second first down on this drive to the 28-yard line.
Yeah, having these 2 tight ends that are vertical threats in the game allow you to also do things like tight end screen. So now you sit back, you help in the protection a bit, and sneak out. It doesn't always have to be a running back, but both of those guys very adept at running with the ball once they get it in their hands. So whether it's Vernon Davis or Owen Daniels, good options on both sides now with the screen game.
Hillman back in on a first down from the 28-yard line. And finally, he busts one. Does Hillman to the 19-yard line, tackled there by Freeney. Gain of 9, second down and 1.
I like the job that Matt Paradis is doing, the young center. Watch him right there. He's going to reach out here and be able to take care of Malcolm Brown on this one and just stay in front of him. Once you get big defensive linemen moving laterally, you don't have to knock them down. You just have to stay on them, and that's what Paradis did.
You saw Hightower on the bench. So he's out on a second down and 1 from the 19-yard line. They toss it to Hillman. He's got a convoy there, and Hillman breaks a tackle and goes to the end zone. Broke away from Gerard Mayo and Ronnie Hillman, who'd been bottled up with 2 good runs back-to-back to make it a 1-possession game. 19 yards for the TD.
There you go. We talked about these tight ends. Watch Vernon Davis, the 2 wideouts on the outside. Benny Fowler and Cody Latimer, good blocks too. But it was Vernon Davis able to seal out on the outside. And there goes the explosiveness of Hillman. Let's see if we got a little hold there. Maybe a little bit by Fowler, but they were kind of grabbing each other's jerseys, weren't they?
Now Brandon McManus for the extra point. And Denver with a much-needed drive, as New England will get the ball, and then they will get the ball to start the second half. 2:07 to go to the half. 14-7 Patriots.
Snow globe.
It does.
Well, that was good. Brock Osweiler that time. They put together 2 long drives. The one resulted in nothing, but they do get the touchdown on that one.
That was 77 yards, 10 plays, a couple of big catches by Daniels. Sanders made a big play as well. And Brady will start this drive from the 20. From the 20-yard line, LeGarrette Blount picks up a couple. They've been going to the air, have the Patriots all night. Very little on the ground. 2-minute warning. Second down and 8 now from the 22-yard line. Keep it on the ground. LeGarrette Blount. And he fights his way for a first down to the 31-yard line. Patriots have only run the ball 4 times on 22 plays in this half.
Yeah, they keep after it there. Good inside. Brian Stork taking back over at the center position, and Trey Jackson in at right guard now.
And Blount again up to the 36 he goes. Pats have all of their timeouts. 2nd and 5.
Well, you have to get a little nervous if you're playing defense against the Patriots right before the half, right? This is when they all tend to double up on you. Score one here and then score one at the beginning of the second half.
Yeah, they deferred. Get the ball in the 3rd quarter. 2nd down and 5. And back to the ground they go. So it's been pass, pass, pass. And now it's run, run, run. And that'll make it 3rd down and 3.
Yeah, and the flip side of this is the Broncos are heating up a little bit on offense, so this becomes a big 3rd down play here. Denver has 2 timeouts left if they choose.
Yeah, somebody is going to take a timeout unless the clock stops with an incompletion here at the end of this play.
We got a corner, Bradley Roby, out on Gronkowski wide. Now Darian Stewart walks that way.
And they're just going to run around the ground, and now Denver can take a timeout if they so choose on a 3rd and 3 as James White gets stuffed, so they don't go to the air at all here on this drive. And the Broncos have chosen not to take a timeout, and they'll just go to the locker room content being down by 7. But New England will get the ball as we start the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, don't you think that Gary Kubiak is probably thinking, boy, my quarterback just had his best drive of the day. Let's go in with a little confidence at halftime.
Yeah, either that or
timeout. Denver.
Well, now they take a timeout. If nothing else, I would have taken a timeout just to make them punt, because you don't know in these conditions with a snap, a block, and all of that. But they do take the timeout, which is going to force them to punt. Again, Michelle.
Well, Dante Hightower went back to the locker room questionable with a knee. So another linebacker, Jamie Collins not in this game either, Al. So we'll find out if Hightower can come back for the second half.
All right, thank you, Michelle.
You could see Patrick Chung got knocked right onto the left knee there of Dante Hightower. And those are arguably 2 of the best players on this entire football team. I have to throw Chandler Jones and a few other guys into that mix. But
they're first.
And New England takes a timeout. What's interesting here is that New England figuring it's only 5 seconds. Denver waited for the timeout. Instead of punting, why not have Brady take 1 shot at the end zone?
Or just take it and throw it straight up in the air and let the clock run out.
Right.
There you go.
Or throw it out of bounds. Right.
That's it. There's your 5 seconds.
There you go. and that'll kill the clock. So they didn't want to punt. And it's a one-possession game. It's 14-7. That's our halftime score. New England gets the ball at the 20-yard line. And we go to Michelle.
Well, we talked about the 3 Denver injuries in the first half. Nose tackle Sylvester Williams, safety TJ Ward, and right guard Luis Vasquez. I talked to Gary Kubiak. He said it doesn't look good for any of the 3. Nothing official yet, but he's happy with the way his team has adjusted, and he said we're just going to have to continue to adjust. As for Patriots linebacker Dante Hightower, again, nothing official. He is back on the sidelines wearing a sleeve over that left knee, guys.
All right, thank you, Michelle. And they have done a good job adjusting on that defensive side. 24 degrees now. Already had some snow. Could be as many as 3 inches before it's said and done as LeGarrette Blount plows ahead for a gain of 1, making it 2nd down and 9.
It was interesting, didn't you think, the comments that Tom Brady gave us when we were meeting with him? He said, you know, for the first time in my entire career, I feel really solid. I'm like, what? You know,
really?
he thinks he sees all the reads, all the defenses, all the looks. Here's a guy who was the NFL MVP twice, Super Bowl MVP 3 times, and just now he's starting to feel solid back there.
He said locked in, as if he hasn't been for 15 years. 2nd and 9 from the 21-yard line. And Brady going down. Vance Walker, great spin move. He did a full spin around it, but a flag is down. And you're going to get a personal foul here on Miller.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, late hit. Defense number 58. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Oh boy, if you're a Broncos fan, here comes Von Miller all the way around. He's going to fall on his back. First one fine, second one the penalty. I know how frustrating it gets trying to get after Tom Brady. He's so quick releasing the football, but that was just a killer right there after that big play.
No question. Otherwise, it would have been 3rd down and long. Instead, it's a 1st down up at the 29-yard line. LeGarrette Blount is the running back. That's Gronkowski moving over to the right side. Play action. Now Brady fires over the middle, and that's caught by Gronkowski. So they moved him to the right side. Came out of the slot, cuts across the field. Darian Stewart makes the tackle. Gain of 22.
And this is really where Tom Brady kills you. He puts Gronk in motion. He knows from that motion that Darian Stewart's going to have him in man coverage, goes play action, and hits the middle of the field where there's absolutely nobody there. It is his ability to decipher between man and zone, Tom Brady, that gets guys like Rob Gronkowski open as successfully as he does.
Gronkowski averaging almost 17 yards per reception this season, which is gigantic for a tight end. League average is about 10.5. And Brady on a tight roll going all the way downfield and incomplete. It was Brandon LaFell who came back. Darian Stewart covering on the play. 2nd and 10.
We talked about Von Miller and the frustration from that penalty, but you'll see part of the reason why. Now Vollmer back in the game on the left side, and they've got 2 for 1 blocking him on the other side. They put in an extra offensive tackle, Cameron Fleming, and it's just been tough. So now he's been put in coverage situations that he's not used to doing. These tight ends splitting out, and there it is. There's the penalty that kept this drive alive.
2nd and 10. The play clock at 0, and Brady upset because
timeout.
He has to take a timeout.
This is their first. This is a 30-second timeout.
Brady, well, he spent 3.5 hours of agitation the other night trying to get the timeout here, and he does, and well, that's Tom.
Yeah, well, you know, it's a different look. I mean, this offensive line from the beginning of the year has been shuffled and shuffled again. Brian Stork's been back a few weeks. He was on that concussion IR, to start the season. He was their center a year ago. It's been David Andrews. They just keep flip-flopping around, but this is really the first time they've been healthy up front, but they haven't played a lot of football together. They really haven't. This group, I think, is the one they hope settles in here, but they haven't played a lot together.
2nd and 10 from the 49. And James White, that didn't fool anybody. Good looking play at the inception. David Bruton is there for the tackle. Back we go to Michelle.
Just got the official updates on those 3 Denver players we were telling you about. Sylvester Williams, TJ Ward, both now downgraded to out, as is Luis Vasquez when they get back on the offensive side of the ball, Al.
All right, thank you, Michelle. Yeah, you see a couple of guys go off on a cart. Chances are you're not going to see him for the rest of the night, and that is the case here. 3rd down and 10. Wade Phillips, he was a coach here in the early 90s for 2 seasons. His defense with Brady dancing, and Brady's going to go deep downfield and too deep. Double coverage that time on Brandon LaFell.
Nice call by Wade Phillips there. We've been seeing man coverage all the time. And then in that 3rd down and long, he comes out and plays his own defense. And I think Brady thought, why not? Let's just take a shot down the field here, see if we can take advantage of some of those injuries in the game. Good cover up by Omar Bolden there at the end of it. There's Shane Ray, the young rookie pass rusher.
Allen's kick is a good one. Bounds out at the 11-yard line. That's where Denver will have the ball for the first time in the second half, with the Patriots leading 14-7. As the pass is incomplete, intended for Demaryius Thomas. Only the 2nd time he's been targeted tonight, and he has not caught a ball.
Yeah, and that's just strictly a timing issue. You can't get an easier route than that. You know, when it's a zone defense, your guy's going to go out and turn out. Osweiler thought he was going to go a little sharper to the out. Instead, he just turned around, and that's just not playing together.
On a 2nd down and 10 from the 11. Ronnie Hillman. And Hillman with a burst, breaking tackles. Beautiful run out to the 27-yard line. McCourty stops him there. He got 16 on the play.
We talked about Max Garcia a little bit. Now, he has struggled a little bit with his pass blocking this year, but he is a devastating run blocker. We saw him come in the Cleveland game for Evan Mathis a little bit, and immediately there was an uptick in the run game. Maybe it's happening again in this one.
From the 26-yard line, Hillman again. Well, he tries to cut it back, but he's met right there. Malcolm Brown in on the stop. Short gain, 2nd and 8.
Yeah, really nice job by Chandler Jones on that one, setting that hard edge, as they say. Chandler Jones having one of those incredible seasons where a couple of the Broncos guys were saying they think he should be in the voting for MVP of the league. Well, that may be a little bit strong, but at least so far he has been very dynamic. 10.5 sacks on the year, 3rd in the NFL.
C.J. Anderson back in. Blitz coming, and Osweiler steps away and then throws a little bit too high. Intended there for Demaryius Thomas, so they still can't get it to their leading receiver.
Well, so far, you've got your leading receiver. He has 875 yards worth of catches, but it has been Logan Ryan, who maybe is the unsung hero of this football team this year. Ryan already has 4 interceptions on the year and basically has taken Demaryius Thomas out of the game.
So 3rd down and 8 from the 27-yard line, early 3rd quarter. Patriots trying to go to 11-0. Denver trying to go to 9-2. And to the outside, and that's caught by Anderson. And before he goes down, he picks up the first down, and a flag is thrown as Tavon Wilson grabbed him around the neck. So this should tack on 15 more.
Tavon Wilson knew he was in trouble.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask, defense number 51. 15-yard penalty, and an automatic first down.
Going to call that one on Mayo. He said 51. I think he meant Tavon Wilson.
Yeah, right out here in the flat. And it was when Wilson tried to get over the top of those receivers coming down to the inside, and really no question about the call. A little bit of a Patriot-looking kind of a pick, rub, slash whatever play that came back to haunt the Patriots on that one.
Eric Fleming is now in the game for Hightower. Meanwhile, Juwan Thompson, the number 3 running back, is in the game, and he will plow straight ahead for a gain of about 3.
And they're in on the tackle, a guy who's becoming more and more significant now, Jonathan Franey, the inside linebacker, picked him up from the Dolphins. He is very run specific to this defense, but as Jamie Collins goes out injured and Hightower now is banged up, it is really on him, and Gerard Mayo now is going to have to fill that role as well.
2nd and 7. Osweiler, and he's going to go down, so he's trying to move up in the pocket, and Malcolm Brown, their number 1 draft choice out of Texas, will get the sack. 3rd down.
Tell you, the guy that's getting harder and harder to block, and that's Jabal Sheard coming off of the edge right here. He's going to go right through Schofield. Now, he's not going to get credit for that sack, but he and Chandler Jones forced Osweiler to step up so quickly. There it was for Malcolm Brown, I believe it was, to make the sack.
3-yard sack. It's going to be 3rd down and 10. Ball at the 46-yard line. And Osweiler fires over the middle. It's caught. Emmanuel Sanders. Another big catch for number 10, who missed last week's game, came back from an ankle injury. That was a 3rd and 10, first down, gain of 21.
And let's give some credit to Sanders on this one. This one, you know you're going to take a shot. He said, I'm okay with it. It's 3rd down. Just throw it in here, big guy. And that was well read. He had to wait for that backside window to pop open. Huge conversion right there to now get him down in field goal range.
Ball at the 30-yard line. Ronnie Hillman is the running back. Tries to cut it back. You see the flag come in. Darius Fleming makes the tackle.
Holding, offense number 69. 10-yard penalty. Replay, first down.
Well, let's take a look at that one. I thought Matt Paradis helped Evan Mathis and knocked. Let's see if Paradis comes over here to help Evan Mathis and basically forces him to the ground. Sometimes it can be deceiving when a guy has his hands inside like that, and I think the help had a lot to do. You see that hooked underneath that left shoulder pad, though. I think that's what they called.
And that's why Mathis looked up and he said, what kind of a call was that? 1st and 20. Over the middle. That is caught, and that is Owen Daniels. So a 1st and 20, picks up 10, making it 2nd down and 10.
Love the play by Osweiler there. That's a veteran play right there. He's seen Peyton Manning do that enough. You just get the yardage back that you lost on the penalty. So now you're back in field goal range once again.
Ball at the 30-yard line. Yard line's getting obscured. Snowed since the beginning of the game. Osweiler was able to step away, then throw, and that's knocked away. Incomplete. Intended for Logan Ryan. Trying to get it to Thomas. Couldn't again. 3rd and 10.
Demaryius Thomas should have had this catch. He stopped coming back to the ball. He drove down deep enough, but then it was Logan Ryan who kept coming for the football and not Demaryius. You see him slow down right there. Allowed Logan Ryan to get there. Should have been a completion.
So 3rd and 10 at the 30. A little over 7 to play in the 3rd. 4 receivers to the left. Osweiler gets it away, but he gets whacked as he throws it. Chandler Jones and Jabal Sheard came in. And now you've got about a 48-yard attempt, which normally would be pretty easy. But, of course, in these conditions, nothing is that easy.
Jonathan Freeney, a little delay blitz, and then he's going to come shooting inside here. Osweiler saw it at the last second and really makes a great play. That was a play he took a sack on a week ago. He's learning.
Spotted at the 30 at a 48-yard attempt for Brandon McManus, who's missed only one field goal this season, that a 52-yarder at Cleveland. And he's missed his second. So again, under the circumstances, anything but easy. New England's going to get the ball at the 38-yard line with 6:57 to go in the third in Denver. And the Patriots on top 14-7. So our producer, Fred Godelli, a.k.a. The Boss, he thinks of everything. So it's time for virtual numbers. So you can't see him there, but now you can see him there.
How about that?
Yeah. Makes it a lot easier for everybody. We'll keep that in as long as the field looks like this. The ball is at the 38-yard line. On first down, Brady turns and on a draw. Good-looking run play here. Gain of 9. That's Brandon Bolden. Stopped at the 47-yard line. It'll be second down and 1 for New England.
Yeah, they're just trying to find the right combination of players now at that running back position. Bolden's a little bit bigger guy. James White probably a little shiftier, better receiver. Like Garrett Blunt, sort of the closer, the hammer maybe in the fourth quarter. But they're still trying to replace Dion Lewis. It has not been easy.
Lewis gone for the year, and what a tackle there by Derek Wolfe. Comes in again and bursts through to take Bolden down behind the line of scrimmage.
I'll tell you what, Derek Wolfe is having a monster return to football after that suspension. We have seen him all over the place, and Josh Klein, to this point, for my money, has been their best offensive lineman, and he's now made a couple of plays against him.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 2. People stamping their feet. Cameras shaking. No way Brady can be heard with this din. And he gives it on an inside draw, and that's going to be stopped short of the first down. Wolf stops Bolden again, making it 4th down and 1.
You know, it's really interesting, isn't it, Al, that we've seen some 3rd down and shorts before the half, and now this one where they have opted for the run and taken the ball out of Tom Brady's hands. You wonder how much of that has to do with no Edelman, no Amendola, no Dion Lewis, the guys that he's used to throwing the ball quickly.
So 4th and 1. And we're going to get a measurement.
Or a think about it measurement.
Right.
It's always great. You can call for a measurement, and instead of taking a timeout to think about it, you just
exactly
let them
not
do that.
Really not even that close.
No, it's a think about it.
So 4th down that much.
Well, there's no reason to not hard count it, but Tom Brady's already left the field, so he won't be hard counting from over there.
This will be Allen's 5th punt of the game. He's had a pretty good night. He's averaging 43 in these conditions. Try to put it out inside the 20-yard line if he can. Good angled kick and perfect. Oh, baby, almost slid it in there, but it is stopped outside the goal line. So
if his heels had hit that line, it would have been on the 20.
Very close. It didn't. 52-yard kick, a beauty. So the ball was down to the 3-yard line, and that's where Denver begins this drive. And with action up front.
False start. Offense number 17. Penalty be assessed half the distance to the goal. Remains first down.
That's your quarterback. taking it back to the 1.5.
Yeah, so they get the head nod, and Matt Patricia gives it a head nod, and so the head bob, there you go, but it got his guy to jump off sides. Good job really by Osweiler to think of that. It didn't work.
Oh boy, he's fortunate as C.J. Anderson to get out of there on this slippery surface. Branch is there for the tackle. 2nd and 11 upcoming.
And we're seeing now that it is going to be a bigger and bigger responsibility throughout this game. And Gerard Mayo, he is going to have to fill in at least for this game now. And here's a guy just barely a year removed from knee surgery. He's been playing a little bit more all the time, but now he's going to have to take on a full-time role.
Osweiler over the middle, that buys some breathing room. C.J. Anderson makes the catch out to the 6-yard line. 3rd down and 7, at least on a punt. They won't have to punt from the back of the end zone.
Well,
maybe.
What we've seen is that some of those inside runs have done well, but the one home run that they hit in this game was when Ronnie Hillman went around the edge with a couple of wide receivers flanked out and something that looked just about like this on the right side over here. That was their touchdown play.
And that is juggled and not caught. Demaryius Thomas again has not collected anything tonight. Ryan with the coverage. 4th down.
It's the toughest play in football right there. You got to slant underneath you. You got to run underneath the receiver. And I just don't think Thomas ever quite got a grip. Was helped by Logan Ryan's hand being in there to strip it away. But that was a big, big play in the ball game right there on 3rd down.
And now Colquitt to put it in the air. Chris Harper stands back at the 50-yard line. Good kick. And that will bound to a stop at about the 35-yard line. And that's what they needed to get out of trouble. The 59-yard boot. From the 35-yard line. This drive begins with Blunt up to the 38. So Tom Brady, Dion Lewis was such a big part of the first half of the season. Tore his ACL week 9. Edelman broke his foot. Could be back, should be back for the playoffs. Amendola sprained his knee last week, and he didn't even make the trip. Might play next week. We'll see when they meet Philadelphia. He's not only a great receiver, but the leading punt returner in the league. 2nd and 7. And that's caught by Scott Chandler. So Tom Brady, you think about it, he's seen everything. I love the way he said he's like almost at the top of his, maybe he is. He wants to play till he's 45. What do you think?
You're going to tell him he can't? What we have seen historically is at about 39, there is a pretty steep cliff that they all seem to go off of, and I think you could almost do that line of demarcation with what we've seen from Peyton. But who knows? He takes care of himself. He said has these special programs. He felt great on Wednesday. Who knows? Maybe he can. I'd be all right with me. I enjoy watching him play.
That's why Jack Benny never went over the cliff. Here's LeGarrette Blount for a gain of about 3.
You showed that graphic, though, and I find it interesting. It's one of the unusual parts of the Patriots, in my opinion, is that this team really never had elite speed. They just don't on this offense. What they have is elite quickness. Unfortunately, the elite quickness is now injured. It's Amendola, it's Edelman, and Dion Lewis.
2nd and 8. From the 48, under 2 minutes to play in the 3rd quarter. Brady stepping up, fires on the run and incomplete. Intended for Gronkowski.
Yeah, let's go back and we'll look at some of these slot receivers over the years. I think you might recognize a few names. Troy Brown and all the magical things he's done for this franchise. Wes Welker, as good as there's ever been doing this, and sort of invented that role just a little bit. And then Julian Edelman, and his amazing play. We saw what he did was so good in the Super Bowl. And now all those easy first downs are no longer there for Tom Brady.
3rd and 8. And he floats one down the sideline and almost intercepted. Intended for Chandler. That was Talib reaching for it. Boy, the field is really coming into play on almost everything right now.
Keep Talib with a nice recovery there. He had to, I think this is him right out here. He's got to hustle his way out there. They had an adjustment and he just took off and ran. And lucky for him, he got his head around there, or that could have been one of those cutoff pass interference calls. This defense has played really well since the first quarter.
Especially with the losses of Ward and Williams, 2 key guys. And that is a very short punt off the foot of Allen. And
no call.
Allen, he's looking for a running into the kicker from Todd Davis and will not get it. 34 yards. From the 18-yard line now. Play action starts this drive. Pass caught. Vernon Davis came over from the 49ers about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Longtime 49er tight end. Makes the catch here. That's a gain of 6 yards, 2nd and 4.
Yeah, and it's a good idea to get him going. Here's a guy that has big play, explosive ability. And sometimes as a receiver, if you can just get your hands on the ball, it gets you back in the flow of the game. Maybe we can get to some of those vertical threats now that the snow is going to slow down this pass rush.
2 catches for Davis tonight. Caught 6 last week in Chicago. There goes Ronnie Hillman. And he loses the ball, but alertly the Broncos are able to recover. So Hillman coughed it up, and then Garcia winds up recovering it to save the day, at least for the moment. It'll be 3rd down.
Yeah, it looked like Chandler Jones there able to get off the block of Mathis and get his hands on that one. Going to come from the inside here and strip that ball out, and that might have been game, set, and match if the Patriots jumped on that one.
Loss of 2 at the end of the day on that play. It's 3rd down and 8 now from the 20-yard line. Final half minute of the 3rd quarter. Osweiler fires over the middle, and that's batted away. Benny Fowler, the intended receiver, and Patrick Chung says, not in my direction. 4th down.
It's a poor throw. It was definitely behind Fowler at that time. There was some space in front and just thrown behind. They should have been able to pick up that 1st down.
Colquitt will do the punting. That's Chung who's going to pull in at the 31-yard line and get tackled up at the 35-yard line. 7 seconds remaining in the 3rd. So you've got the Panthers at 11-0. Big Thanksgiving Day win. So impressive against the Cowboys, the Patriots. That's what they've got left. Pats have the Eagles. Then they go to Houston, and we have just flexed into that game. So in 2 weeks from tonight, we will be in Houston, where the Texans are rolling as well, meeting the Patriots, who could come in 11-0.
J.J. Watt has decided to take over this league. That defense has just been dominant for a month now.
From the 35-yard line, Brady deep down the right sideline, and that's incomplete. Scott Chandler was the intended receiver. 2 ticks remaining in the quarter.
Yeah, it's the same way they scored a touchdown on the earlier drive. They've got a linebacker walked out, but they're not getting any contact on that outside player, and so you're getting a free lane down the boundary. The safety is in the middle of the field, too deep, and you can't get there. They always train those corners, jam them from the outside in, force them in so that the safety can get there.
Each quarterback 15 of 25 for almost the same yardage. This is Bolden. He will end the quarter. The difference is Osweiler, no TDs, 1 pick. Brady, 2 TDs. End of the 3rd. 14-7 is the score. Sunday Night Football from Denver back after this. There's Robert Kraft, the longtime owner of the New England Patriots. On the team now for over 2 decades.
He got pretty good when he took over, didn't he?
Yeah, as you mentioned
difference.
before, the 4 major North American team sports, they would have the best winning percentage over that period of time. 3rd down and 8. Al Michaels, Chris Collinsworth, Michelle Tafoya on Sunday night as Brady surveys, and it's caught. Getting out in front is Brandon Bolden, and Bolden breaking tackles goes into the end zone. Brandon Bolden throwing it over Danny Trevathan, the linebacker, covering 63 yards on a 3rd down and 8.
That's what's happened all night long. They have isolated these linebackers in coverage positions they're not used to being in. For Danny Trevathan, he is not used to having to cover a back that is 40 yards down the field. It has just been a tremendous game plan tonight by Josh McDaniels. In light of all the weapons that he lost, he has isolated these linebackers in key situations and taken advantage.
2nd touchdown reception of the season for Brandon Bolden. And that took a little bit of air out of the crowd here at Mile High. Gostowski now for the extra point. And with 10 seconds gone in the 4th quarter, it is New England 21, Denver 7. Great play call, got the matchup they wanted. Bolden, who caught only 5 passes all season coming in, has 3 tonight. So most TD passes in history. Peyton with 539, Brett with 508, and Brady and Marino are now tied for 3rd, with Drew Brees about 4 behind them. 420 career touchdown passes. Bolden to the 21, and back we go to the touchdown.
Yeah, you'll see Trevathan take this underneath route because he's used to when the back comes out going in the flat, whatever. But when he wheels up and he goes under, he can't get back underneath it. So now it turns into a foot race on a bad field, and you give up the big play you're hoping not to. A big part of that, though, is Sebastian Vollmer over on the left, switching off that play against Shane Ray, providing Tom Brady just enough time for that out and up. Big game changer.
3 touchdown passes for Brady tonight. Rolling right, buying time, launching one, tip, and incomplete. Intended for Sanders, doubled that time. Coverage by Devin McCourty with some help from his friends, and it's 2nd down and 10.
Yeah, and it's one of the things that they've wanted to get to tonight. Unfortunately, when you're down 14, some of those bootlegs and some of those things that look so good when your running game is going, it's not going to fool anybody defensively now. Now they're protecting against those big plays.
Swatter, that's tipped. Alan Branch got a hand on it, and it will be 3rd down and 10.
We talk so much, and there's Matt Patricia. We talk so much, though, about the ability of these edge pass rushers, but more often than not, a lot of times what makes the play is if you get that interior push by one of those guys. There's Alan Branch just taking Paradis right back into the quarterback to make the play.
3rd and 10. Swaddle, look out. As he throws, and that pass is incomplete. You had Gerard Mayo flying through the middle, knocking Osweiler down. He gets up limping. Thomas can't make the catch, and it's 4th down.
Yeah, Mayo is just so deep here. You don't think he's going to come. You think he's going to end up going with the pressure. When he blitzes, it looks almost like a delayed blitz, and the center, Paradis, really didn't even anticipate him coming because of the depth, and he gets a good shot on Osweiler there. And boy, I tell you, it is not much depth at all behind him. Trevor Siemian would be next in.
A rookie out of Northwestern.
Whoops.
It's a 35. The ball is loose, and the Broncos in dire need of a major break. Just got one.
Was that Cody Latimer down there on the coverage?
Well, Chris Harper lost it, and then coming away with the ball. Well, the New England Patriots now are going to contend that they have it. Ebner says, I've got it, but the officials are going to go Denver. There's no Amendola, so you got the rookie Harper, and you got Latimer down there, and here comes Ebner, but he's not going to get there before Barrett gets there. Shaq Barrett recovers for the Broncos to set him up at the 36-yard line.
Wasn't it a botched punt in that game? That huge comeback by New England up there that sort of turned the tables on that one. And now Brock Osweiler, we'll see how he's doing. Last time we saw him, he was limping off the field.
And it was Welker when he was playing for Denver after he left New England. Now at the 36-yard line. Broncos with new life, but then the pass is incomplete, intended for Owen Daniels.
There's just been a few of those in the game where it has looked so easy. These are easy pitch and catch kind of plays, but you're just not used as the backup quarterback to knowing what each individual guy is going to do. We have seen him now on several key throws. I don't think it's a lack of accuracy. I think it's just a lack of timing with specific receivers.
With ball, I mean, you can make a million excuses here. 2nd and 10. C.J. Anderson. And that's going to set up a 3rd down and 5. A little under 14 to play in the 4th.
Sort of interesting strategically. You've already missed one long field goal. Do you play this as 4-down territory here and think in terms of I don't need to get it all on this one play?
Well, who would have ever thought they would target Demaryius Thomas 8 times tonight and he wouldn't have a catch? 3rd and 6. Here they come. He hangs in there. It's Sanders to the 14-yard line. So he's made a bunch of big plays tonight. None bigger than that one. That's a gain of 17 to keep the drive alive.
And that's because this offensive line picked up this blitz. They sent everybody here. They're bringing the house, and that left plenty of time for Sanders. He just got a little natural pick on the outside against Malcolm Butler to pick that up. Big time play.
C.J. Anderson, a nice block hanging in there as well. Sanders has got 5 for 74. From the 15.
What's up?
To the outside. Anderson, can he swing around the corner? He can! And C.J. Anderson is in for the touchdown.
That may have been one of the best jump cuts I've seen all season. He is hot tonight. Watch how far up in here he gets, and then laterally, like a crab would run almost, goes straight sideways all the way around everybody, including a safety and a corner on the outside. We are seeing the C.J. Anderson that we saw at the end of last year when he had 8 touchdowns in the last 8 games and 767 yards, and there he is again. Great play.
The turnover, they make it pay off. They've turned it into a 1-possession game with 12 and a half to go. McManus now for the extra point. So the Denver Broncos got the break that they needed. Cash in on it. 21-14 with 12 and a half to go in Denver. course, that's going to be one of the big storylines here in Denver. Already is. When Peyton wasn't playing very well, not everybody, some people thinking it's time to get the other guy in there, give him a chance. Now, he's going to miss next week, but then we'll see. It's going to be interesting to see what they do down the stretch when Peyton gets healthy.
And how does Brock Osweiler do? I mean, this is an offense that obviously fits Osweiler better than it does Peyton Manning, but they were also beginning to have success when they had Peyton Manning in there in that new hybrid offense. So it'll be a very interesting thing. I think if Manning's ready, he will play, but who knows? We've seen stranger things happen.
From the 20-yard line, Brady. Clean pocket. Deep down the sideline. Flag is thrown. Intended for Scott Chandler. And we'll see what Tony Corrente has to say
Illegal
here.
use of the hands. Hands to the face. Offense number 76. 10-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Sebastian Vollmer.
Watch the left hand of Sebastian Vollmer. He is going to come out here and get that left hand right underneath the face mask of Von Miller here. And then not only get it there, but that made it pretty easy.
First and 20.
The 3 and out here would be pretty big. The momentum would be shifting in a major way.
And they'd get good field position in all likelihood. And that's caught up at the 18. Chandler makes the catch. Gain of about 8. Second down and 12.
Now we're starting to see a little more zone because of some of the game planning of Tom Brady and Josh McDaniels and some of the ways that this man coverage has gotten him. Wade Phillips now is dropping into a few zones. Let's see what he does here. This is, in my opinion, the series of the game right here.
Wade Phillips or Nanook of the North. Second and 11. Brady deep down the right sideline, and that is incomplete. Pass intended again for Scott Chandler. Been going his way a lot of times tonight. Third down and 11, covered by Marshall.
Well, they've got what they want. They want one-on-one with their tight ends on the outside against these linebackers. Well, Brandon Marshall was up to the task there. And this is Von Miller time. If you ever got pressure out of Von Miller, this is where you need it right now. You can't have Brady back there surveying the field. It's like Gronk is going to give him a little chip on the way out.
Brady under pressure, gets away. Flag is thrown deep downfield, getting wide open is Keyshawn Martin, and he'll get taken down to the 29, but a flag is down in the offensive backfield. Here comes Corrente. Is this an offensive hold?
Holding, offense, number 63. This penalty be assessed after distance to the goal. Repeat, third down.
So that is Trey Jackson. He is a rookie 4th-round pick out of Florida State. That would have been a 51-yard gain.
Yeah, Von Miller's going to loop around here. Trey Jackson's going to pick him up and not be able to hold him out. And then the pressure on Brady. Brady escapes, makes the huge play, but all for naught.
And gets whacked at the end as well.
Says it all.
Yeah, it does. Third and 20. Rocking and rolling in Denver. And then Brady has to just dump it because the pressure was put on by Miller. Miller coming in, not blocked. Brady upset with Corrente. 4th and 20.
Well, they had a screen pass going to the left that wasn't going to fool anybody. Plus, Von Miller went unblocked around the edge. And so Tom Brady said, I think I'll get out of here and go yell at Tony Corrente one time.
Now Ryan Allen sending it down toward Omar Bolden. Oh, and he drops the ball at the 44-yard line. and recovers it at the 45-yard line.
The Broncos keep recovering theirs, and the Patriots don't. That's kind of the difference in the game.
Yes, it is. 10:58 to go in regulation in a 7-point game. Quarterback comparison tonight, Tom Brady with 3 touchdowns. So he has better numbers than Osweiler does. Osweiler sacked 3 times. Passing by distance, everything's short. I mean, the conditions kind of compel it. And that's been part of the story of the game. From the 45-yard line, bursting through, Hillman. Gain of 8 yards. Let's go to Michelle.
Well, Pat's linebacker Dante Hightower has no change in his status, Al. He is still questionable with that knee injury. It happened late in the first half. He's been out here the entire second half, but just sitting on the bench, sometimes helmet in his hands, sometimes not, but just sitting.
All right, Michelle, so missing him, and Jamie Collins not even on the trip. He's been ill for about 3 weeks, got back to practice, but not here tonight, and Hillman gets stopped by Salinga right there. Division leaders, New England, big lead in the East. Cincinnati winning today, beats St. Louis. Denver on top in the West, that won't change. And Indy in a dogfight in that South, which has bunched up right now with Houston there as well at 6-5.
How about Matt Hasselbeck coming in? He just keeps winning. It's amazing.
When he's not texting Brett Favre when Brett's on the air.
Busting our job.
Right. From the 45-yard line. Good play action. That buys time. And lets Osweiler throw, and that will be caught by Owen Daniels for a first down. Daniels covered on the outside, but not well enough.
First of all, great protection, but Osweiler had to throw this one a long way on a line. We are seeing now the Patriots so far down Darius Fleming, who just came up from the practice squad, out there in coverage on this one. But watch this protection all the way across the board. No way that happens unless he gets it.
At the 34.
What's up?
Hillman. He gets wrapped up by Rob Ninkovich. Ticking down under 9 minutes to go in regulation.
I'll tell you, we have seen a lot of good blocking on the backside of runs, and it's why we've seen some of these cutbacks. Watch these guys back here on the backside hang with it. And the back knows, stay front side, but then the last minute break back there, and you get all that momentum pushed down, and that's where some of those big runs have come.
2nd and 7 from the 30. Wide open. First down. C.J. Anderson down the sideline. And C.J. Anderson takes the ball to the 10. Patrick Chung stops him there. It's going to make it first down and goal.
I think we're going to declare C.J. Anderson a mutter. He seems to have no problems whatsoever. In some of these lateral cuts, he's making people miss left and right out there on the field. Just a low center of gravity, and here's the guy. Maybe now he is just going to do what he did a season ago, which is just take over the game in the second half of the year. You know, Eddie Lacy's a little bit like that, Al. You know, over the Green Bay Packers, his best game's late.
Through the middle. Well, last year Anderson came on. He gave them a real shot at the end of the season. Then he started the season as the starter. Then they went to Hillman with Anderson backing him up. Let me get his job back here.
Yeah, the other interesting part of this is that because that Luis Vasquez is out of the game now, he is probably their best pass blocker inside, but Max Garcia and Evan Mathis are the best run blockers, and maybe in this game that's more significant now.
2nd down and goal from the 7. 4 receivers set to the right. Osweiler fires in that direction. Caldwell, and he gets tackled at the 3-yard line, setting up a 3rd and goal.
Now that's one of those for Andre Caldwell. You'd really greatly prefer that he catch that ball and just head north and south right now. There's Matt Patricia expecting a little girl here in a couple of weeks. Wife Raina, congrats to all of them.
3rd and goal, they put Anderson back in.
No doubt in my mind what I'd be doing here. I think C.J. Anderson has proven that he can make this happen somehow. Screen, hand it to him, something.
Does Demaryius Thomas catch a ball tonight? Well, we'll find out in a minute. Play clock all the way down. It'll be 3rd down and goal.
Their first 30-second timeout.
To find out. Undergoing the protocol. That's next week. Indy at Pitt. All right, 3rd down and goal.
Empty backfield.
Yeah, C.J. Anderson comes all the way to the left. They go 5 wide, very wide. And Osweiler throws, and it's incomplete. Thomas, the intended receiver, but not even close. 4th and goal.
Yeah, miscommunication again here. And I kind of agree with Osweiler on this one. It's man coverage on the outside, and you've got Demaryius Thomas. You've got to believe he's going to break to the out. Against man coverage, you don't sit this down, you break this out. And for whatever reason, he just turned around and gave it like it was going to be. Now, I don't know, who knows, whether or not that's a true option route or not, but against man, he should have broken it out.
Along the way, Logan Ryan is pitching a shutout tonight. McManus for the field goal from 21. With 6:08 to go, it's New England 21 and Denver 17 on Sunday Night Football. Touchback, Brady taking over at the 20-yard line.
Well, remember what he said? He said if we asked him about all the guys missing on this offense, he said, hey, if you need to count on someone, I'd rather him count on me. I'd much rather have it all be on my plate than someone else's because I know I can handle it. We'll see. They need a few first downs here. Gronk's been a little quiet here lately, hasn't he?
Yeah, they've done a good job on him. He scored 5 overall in the game for 74 yards. Early touchdown. James White is the running back. Play action over the middle, and the pass a little bit behind Gronkowski, and incomplete. 2nd down and 10. Bruton covering on the play.
Boy, they had a perfect one going there. They had the safety come out of center field. Gronkowski is going to be wide open on that play, and the ball just thrown behind. That one had a lot of green grass in front of Gronkowski on that one.
2nd and 10. Again, Bruton had to cover him. T.J. Ward hurt early in the game, out. Sylvester Williams, nose tackle, out. Wade Phillips has done a nice job adjusting. Swing it to the outside, and that's caught for a 4-yard gain. Aqib Talib tackling Brandon Bolden. It will be 3rd and 5.
Yeah, but didn't get the man coverage that they had been dealing with on the touchdown for before. So just a monster opportunity for this defense now. A 3 and out. You give the ball back to young Brock Osweiler with a chance to beat Tom Brady. About all you can ask for right here.
Good pocket, caught, 1st down, and that is Gronkowski. Flag is down.
Gronk very physical at the point of that break.
Are they going to call it on him? He's already had 4 offensive pass interference calls made against him this year.
Pass interference, offense, number 87.
There's the 5th.
10-yard penalty, and 3rd down.
That's one area you don't want to lead the league in, but he does. That's 5 offensive pass interference calls on Gronkowski.
Watch him go down the field now and dip that left shoulder in. A little arm extension. That is as close on that call as you can get. And that's what Brady's saying. He's saying he did not push off. He had his arm bent, which typically, if you're on the edge of the guy, you get the benefit of the doubt. But that is one that, honestly, Al, could go either way.
Right.
That was as close to the border as you could get on that one.
Like so many, 3rd and 15 from the 15-yard line. Great protection. Brady throws it about 60 yards downfield and incomplete. Intended for Brandon LaFell. Talib and Bolden back there with him. 4th and 15, and Denver figures to get the ball back in fairly decent field position.
Great protection, but Brady is going to take a shot at the tail end of this because he took so much time to throw it. Watch Shaq Barrett come in and just go after him. Whew. A little high. I guess no shot to the head considered there. But here we go. This is going to be a great finish.
Allen's 8th kick of the night. Going to let it bounce. Now he picks it up. Does Sanders, who originally was going to let it go, and Emmanuel Sanders is stopped at the 36-yard line. 4:36 remaining in the 4th.
Biggest play of the game so far. Pass interference, not pass interference. He's on one edge and a little extension. You can see what the official saw. You get the arm out. Usually if you keep it in tight and you sort of give it the flipper, what do you call that? You know, you just little forearm out there, you get away with it. Just a little too much extension by Gronk there.
Forearm shiver?
Yeah, forearm shiver. Something in wrestling.
So here comes Brock Osweiler. Trying to make it 2 for 2 after the victory in Chicago last week. Blitz coming. That's tipped. And 2nd down and 10. Allen Branch and Mayo put the heat on 2nd down.
I think it's that same blitz that's giving them fits. Get a little pressure here, but it's that from depth blitz that comes a little bit late, and by that point the center Paradis has committed, and he just keeps getting these free runners at Brock Osweiler. No reason at all for Matt Patricia to change that now.
Ronnie Hillman is the back. Taking a while to get this play going. They have to use a timeout
Denver,
here.
Their second.
Not
a 30-second timeout.
Not at all where you want to have to take one. It's their second. So 1 left, 2nd down and 10.
Isn't it interesting, though, that here's Brock Osweiler, a guy that went to the Pro Bowl in, 2005,
right.
And he goes over and he actually bought a Peyton Manning jersey when he was over there. And then much later, when Brock Osweiler was a part of this team and Peyton Manning made the Pro Bowl for the 100th time in a row, invited him to come over. Very magnanimous gesture, right? Invite him over, young kid, right. Show him what it's all about. Gets over there and he stuck him with the tab for the entire coaching staff that was there at the Pro Bowl. He went to check out and the whole thing was left on him.
His 2nd round pick, he had enough to cover it, right? 2nd and 10, C.J. Anderson. Flanking Osweiler. Blitzing again. Osweiler in the pocket, fires incomplete. Demaryius Thomas.
Guess who?
Again, yeah. Logan Ryan.
Well, I know in the snow it's tough, but you have to come back to the football here. He breaks in, and Logan Ryan 2 or 3 times now in the snow has kept driving on the ball and been able to get there. If we get a win by the New England Patriots, I have a feeling who might get a game ball tonight.
That is 10 times they've thrown to Demaryius Thomas tonight without a catch. I don't think they keep records for that, but I can't ever remember anybody going 0 for 10.
Especially Demaryius Thomas.
Right.
Oh.
And that pass is incomplete.
Oh, what a shot.
Yeah, Caldwell. And Osweiler gets up. He went to the ground, took a vicious hit, but comes back to the sideline, but it's 4th down now.
Tavon Wilson made it look like he's in man coverage. Instead, it was man coverage on Osweiler. Look at this shot. I don't know how he got it out of his hands and put it right into the bread basket. Oh, my goodness, what a shot. It's one of those body blows they talk about in boxing.
Colquitt will send it. Nobody is back for New England, so they're just going to let it go. And can Colquitt dead there? He can, but that's not where you want to wind up booting it to the 25-yard line. That's where Brady will take over. A little bit of the recap on the pulse tonight. There are Brady's numbers, 3 touchdown passes. Osweiler, his numbers right there. Bolden with a big play on a 3rd and 8 to make it a 21-7 game, but back came the Broncos thanks to a botched punt. They made it pay off with Anderson going into the end zone.
You know, this guy, Tom Brady, has been around this so much. I think it's 60% of the time that he has played the season.
71 is recorded as eligible. 71.
He has played in the AFC Championship game. Think about that. That's amazing.
And as he said, he finally has it all together now.
Yeah.
From the 25-yard line. We'll start to use some of the clock here. Here's Blunt. This is where those 2 timeouts that Denver had to use could come back to haunt them, because Brady really good at working the clock down, and Denver can stop it only once plus the 2-minute warning.
This is one of those plays that you draw it on the chalkboard. They don't use chalkboards anymore, but you draw it on whatever you draw it on. You say, I don't have to block Von Miller. I don't have to block that guy. Well, when it's Von Miller, you do have to block that guy.
2nd and 9. Brady caught Gronkowski, and that's a 1st down. Tackled there by Darian Stewart, and that's going to eat up some more of the clock.
Well, you know, by formation, when you have a safety flanked out on your tight end, it's man coverage. And Tom Brady can decipher those things as well as anybody. So by formation, he knows, is it man or is it zone? And when it's man, they're going to throw it to Gronkowski. That's exactly how they started the game.
Under 3 minutes. Play action over the middle, and that's incomplete. Gronkowski, and he is hurt. So Gronkowski gets hit and is rolling around. Ooh, baby.
Timeout on the field for an injured player.
So Gronkowski rolling around, injury timeout. Well, that's about the last scene the Patriots would want to see, because you're going to get a cart that's going to come out right now as Gronkowski was writhing in pain, had to reach back for it, got hit. Let's see if we can see what happened.
Yeah, this right knee sort of gets whipped when he was hit by Darian Stewart. It wasn't even on the ground, but you'll see the whip effect here as these shoulder pads come in. Watch it just sort of whip. My goodness. What a great, great player this guy is. One of 2 unanimous All-Pros last year, along with J.J. Watt. And Tom Brady can't believe it.
Yeah, he watched Julian Edelman go down a couple of weeks ago. Amendola hurt tonight, but could be back next week. And Gronk gets a nice salute from the crowd here.
Well, we all know about what he does as a receiver. What makes him the greatest tight end is what he does as a blocker. And look at all the defensive guys from the Broncos coming over to give him a little smack. Well respected in this league. He has been beaten up physically because you have to beat him up. That's the only way you can play him. He's just so physically dominant on the field.
So Gronk, through the years, as tough as they come, but he's taken a lot of shots. January 12, played in the Super Bowl despite a high ankle sprain. Missed 5 games in 12. Missed the AFC Championship game in 13. Off-season forearm back surgery. ACL tear in 13 as well. So now you got Asante Cleveland, who is activated for the game tonight, who takes his spot. And Brady throws, and that pass intended for Scott Chandler is incomplete. So it's 3rd down and 10.
Well, a little turnabout fair play here. Brandon Marshall going to come on the blitz here, and then we get the late movement around the outside of this one. So you force him over to Von Miller's side, and then Brady's going to take the shot.
Number 71 has reported as eligible. Number 71.
That's Fleming, who's been in and out as an eligible receiver tonight.
You just don't have the weapons for Tom Brady that he's used to having. I mean, the top 4 guys that he would look for in this situation, no longer in the game.
3rd and 10. Pass is caught, but short of the first down. There goes LaFell. Clearly their number 1 wideout right now. Chandler becomes their number 1 tight end, but it's 4th down. 4th down, and
well, here's some of the speed that they drafted Shane Ray, number 1 in the first round for. Here he comes hustling back down the line of scrimmage to save that first down.
You know, Denver took a timeout. Hesitating for a second there because Denver took a timeout, so that is their final timeout. They can stop the clock, or the clock will stop at the 2-minute warning. And that's it. Of course, you need a touchdown in this situation, down by 4. Punters have been busy tonight. This will be Allen's 9th punt of the game. It's the 17th overall. Boy, the Patriots just grinded out a win against the Giants, grinded out a win against Buffalo. Will they grind this one out tonight?
Left-footed punter, tough to handle sometimes.
Sanders is back there. Sanders letting it bounce, and it will skid out of bounds at around the 16-yard line. And let's check in with Michelle.
Well, Al, it didn't take the Patriots long to declare Gronk out for the night. Gronkowski back in the x-ray room, and as he got out of that little cart to go into the x-ray room, could really barely put any weight on that right side. So it looks like they were looking at the right MCL on that right knee, but in the x-ray room and officially out.
All right, thank you, Michelle. So who knows how long. Amendola may be back next week. Edelman surgery back in postseason in all likelihood. But first things first, as the Patriots try to extend the unbeaten streak to 11. From the 17-yard line. Osweiler deep downfield and adjusting for it, and finally Demaryius Thomas makes a catch. 11 times he's targeted. It's his first grab. Couldn't have come at a better time for him.
Well, this is what you can do. If you have a big receiver, sometimes you just give them a chance. Throw it up in the air. And that is what we have seen so many times over the years from Demaryius Thomas, and it could not have come at a better time.
2-minute warning, gain of 36. It'll be a first down at the 47-yard line. Set up for a fantastic finish, are we? In Denver on Sunday Night Football. Two minutes to play. No timeouts for Denver at the 47-yard line. Osweiler throws, and Thomas had to go to his knees and could not make the catch. To the ground he went. 2nd down and 10.
It's just bizarre watching Demaryius Thomas. That was a low throw, I understand that, and he didn't want to go to a knee because he wanted to try and run with that ball. He just gets down underneath him. It was a good call. Almost tipped it right to an interception, though, didn't he?
Yeah, Chung was coming in. Couldn't hang on. 2nd down and 10 now.
We're good.
Osweiler deep down the left sideline. Hold in. Emmanuel Sanders. What a night for him. Beat Butler. 1st and goal. Gain of 39. Osweiler can actually afford to take his time right now.
He better take his time.
He brought him down in a hurry, and he's, well, you know, timeout.
Now the Patriots are going to call timeout.
Right.
Timeout. New England. They're second.
So they have one left. 90 seconds to play.
Here we go. Right on the outside against the best. You've got Emmanuel Sanders working against Malcolm Butler and just runs right by him for the huge play. But the reason the safety didn't get there, watch Osweiler look right. Made the safety look just for a moment and take a half a step that way. Kept him out of the play, and football doesn't get any simpler than man-to-man coverage. You go deep on the right, and then you go deep on the left. And here they are down inside the 10.
Ball spotted at the 8-yard line.
But Al, this is where it gets really tough on young quarterbacks. When you don't have experience, red zone offense is the most complicated part of the game, especially against Matt Patricia and Bill Belichick.
They empty the backfield. That's Anderson splitting wide to the right. And Osweiler's going to take it himself around the left side and go out of bounds. Don't need to do that. Gerard Mayo stops him there. You don't want to leave Brady any time on the other side of the clock. 2nd down and goal.
I'll tell you, it was a great play by Mayo, though. It looked for a moment like Evan Mathis might be able to get out in front of him, but he just couldn't get there, probably because of the ankle and the hamstring. Watch him come out here. There's Mayo right in there. Just could not get him locked up. If he had thrown at him, might have been able to cut him. There really wasn't anybody else there.
2nd down and goal from the 7-yard line. Osweiler under pressure, and he's going to get sacked. Alan Branch back at the 19-yard line. 3rd down and goal, and a flag on the play. And the crowd anticipating it's going to be on the defense.
You cannot believe what Alan Branch just did. He just ran over Matt Paradis for a huge play.
Holding
stands.
defense number 23. Penalty gives us half minutes to the goal and an automatic first down.
On Patrick Chung.
Let's take a look.
What do you think? It wipes out a big sack. It would have been 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. Stops the clock, which is good and bad.
Left hand is what they saw on the shoulder pad. We've had a few of those tight ones today, all day.
How about through the years? 1st and goal from the 3. Osweiler throws. It's caught. Andre Caldwell. Denver has the lead. It took him 1:22.
So many times the backup quarterback spends more time with the backup receivers than he does with the first-string receivers. You know he's thrown a bunch of these balls to Andre Caldwell in practice, and Logan Ryan, despite one of the great games we've seen, gives it up, and who would have thunk it?
No.
It's Brock Osweiler taking him 80 yards plus down the field to take the lead against Tom Brady.
Demaryius Thomas makes his first catch of the night. Sanders makes another big catch. He's had a great night, Emmanuel has. And then Osweiler for the touchdown to Caldwell. So Brady will have 69 seconds and 1 timeout, and a field goal, of course, would tie the game.
Osweiler knows exactly what he has, exactly what he wants. They bring that same middle linebacker blitz, and then the reaction was exactly what it's been like around this young man, everything he's done. Brock Osweiler, we saw him in practice, and the defensive guys just love jabbing him. Then they have a lot of laughs, and he's a funny guy. We spent time with him in the meeting. You can see why they all love him. And boy, oh boy, has he delivered now in back-to-back games.
He's been the understudy for 3.5 years and now playing Broadway.
You know what Greg Knapp told me? He said, I'll bet John Elway saw a little of himself in this guy. Now, obviously not the arm strength that Elway had, but the mobility, playing in a run-first offense. I could see why he would think that he might be a fit down the road.
Pumped up, running up and down the sideline. McManus now sends it through the end zone. So Brady has 69 seconds, 1 timeout, and one of the best field goal kickers ever in Stephen Gostkowski.
And we're going to be talking about a holding call in the back of the end zone that completely changed that drive. That was not one of those bold, into the game, obvious holding calls. Was there a little? There was a little. But the Patriots have had a couple of those. The Gronkowski pass interference, and then that one.
Turned to 3rd and goal from the 19 into a 1st and goal from inside the 5. So now no Gronkowski from the 20. Brady throws over the middle. Chandler. So Chandler now the #1 tight end. At this moment, it's a gain of 23. Make it 22. They spot the ball at the 42-yard line. Brady hustles into the line of scrimmage. First down at the 42. 4-man rush. Tom flushed out, throws, and just throws it away. He's outside the pocket.
Foul for intentional grounding. Quarterback's outside the pocket, threw the ball beyond the line of scrimmage.
There you go, Tony Corretti. Right on top of it, 2nd down and 10.
A little bit of the spin move here to make Tom Brady come off the mark here. Tom Brady gets flushed out of the pocket and chooses just to throw it away.
Second and 10 with 40 seconds. Four-man rush. Good pocket. Caught. Chandler. He gets spilled by Talib short of the 1st down. Clock still running. And a timeout is taken here.
For an injured player.
Oh, an injured.
By rule, this will cost an excess timeout.
That's Malik Jackson was the injured player. Had it been New England, you would have had a runoff.
Yeah.
Or a timeout.
And it's,
By
I think,
rule,
get one
Denver
extra.
will be charged an excess timeout. Will the play clock operator reset the play clock to 40 seconds?
It's one of those weird things. It's an excess timeout, which essentially means you get a 4th in this situation. I think if you end up with another injured player, then something else kicks in, a 5-yard penalty, something like that. The rule book is like the IRS code right now. Who knows what all's in there.
So New England still has its timeout. The clock starts to run, and Brady throws, and that's incomplete with a flag. Intended for Harper, covered there by Bruton. And Belichick is saying, wait a minute, why'd they start the clock?
Defense, number 25. 5-yard penalty and an automatic 1st down.
I think we have another clock issue here. What else is new at the end of a game? Because there was an injured player. There's the play clock. Now the game clock was starting. Play clock, of course, goes to 40 after the snap.
Well, and I think what Belichick is saying is you gave them that bonus timeout, and then you wound the clock. We were waiting. We thought it was a dead ball because of the timeout, and all that clock ran off.
Exactly right. 10 seconds left in regulation. They still have a timeout, but they got to get in field goal range. They're not there yet. And Brady will throw, and that will be caught, and then sliding out of bounds is LaFell. So that, with 4 seconds, will set up an opportunity to tie the game.
Wow. Maybe it just doesn't matter. Maybe it's just these two teams when they get together. Holy cow, what a game.
This is going to be a 47-yard attempt. On a bright sunny day at altitude, this is almost a chip shot for Gostkowski. Anything but tonight.
Long of 57 yards, well within his range.
Right. But in the snow, in a slippery surface, to send us into overtime. Which he does.
Wow.
Oh, boy.
Wow.
Man, oh man.
Have we gotten our money's worth this week or not? Holy cow.
Overtime period.
So despite the clock running off several seconds, they were able to make the pass Brady to LaFell huge.
You know, and the great thing about that, let's give them credit, is they feel they caught bad breaks on some penalties, caught bad breaks on that clock management, and instead of hanging your head and be defeated, Brady hits the big pass, and they go to overtime.
Yeah, but they've been doing it for how many years now? It doesn't matter what happens.
You know, and I know everybody has their own version of what the Patriots are. I don't care what you say. What they have done over the past decade plus has been incredible.
Captains will play one 15-minute overtime period. We'll play it as if it is the fourth quarter with timing rules. All replay reviews will come from upstairs, and each team will be allowed 2 timeouts. As visitors, you have the opportunity to call
Heads.
Number 18 calls heads. It is heads. They want the football.
So it comes down to this. If New England gets a touchdown, the game is over. Anything less, Osweiler and the Broncos will get the football at least once. What a game in Denver. 24-all. Reviewing overtime again, a touchdown wins the game for New England. Anything else, Denver will get the ball. Teams are tied after one possession each. Next score wins the game. Game can end in a tie, unlike postseason. Just to clean up one thing, we heard from the league in terms of they ran the clock the right way as it turned out. I think what happened was at the end of regulation, Brady thought when he heard excess timeout, there was no sense of urgency when he went to the line. So that's when the clock started to go. Belichick was apoplectic along the sideline, but they actually got that right.
Well, they get it right, but from a player's standpoint, for Tom Brady, you hear timeout, you don't know excess timeout unless it was explained to him by Tony Corrente.
So the ball at the 20-yard line. They start with White and Bolden in the backfield, and the pass is incomplete. Looking for a flag is LaFell. There is none. Talib covers on the play. 2nd down and 10.
And now Tom Brady's looking for a few penalties to go his way. He's saying we've seen enough go against us in here, and we'd like to have one in our favor, but there really isn't. And now we're back to that whole discussion, the elite quickness that would be so big in a situation like that. How many times we see Brady just those little in and out runs, you know, to Edelman or Amendola, and now he doesn't really have those guys on the field that have that kind of quickness.
2nd down and 10. And Brady's going to get sacked at the 13. Von Miller. Took him till overtime to get there. 7-yard sack, 3rd and 17.
Now Brady's going to try and step up, but just as he does, that door closes, and now he has to back up into Von Miller, who has begun to take over this game.
Third and 17 from the 13-yard line. Have to get to the 30. Brady has to dump it off. Shane Ray got there, rookie out of Missouri, their 1st-round pick.
4th down.
And it's 4th down. So Denver's going to get the ball, and a field goal can win the game.
I mean, what an unbelievable play by Brady to get that thing out. He was turned to his left and had to spin all the way around and somehow found a receiver close enough for that not to be called intentional grounding.
Ryan Allen to punt. Sanders is back there.
Wow.
Good kick. Beauty. Sanders backs up. Fields at the 29 and then slides to a stop at the 42-yard line. That's a punt of 59 yards, a run back of 13. Take a look at Brock's numbers on the night. 263, through the air with a touchdown and 1 pick.
He told the story at the end of the Chicago game. He couldn't remember what the victory formation was. All he had to do is take a knee. He couldn't remember what victory formation was. And he's stuttering in the huddle, and all of a sudden he looks around and he said, the quarterback, just go up to the line and take a knee on one. He said the whole huddle burst out in laughter. But it was good enough.
You saw Brock's dad. Goes to every one of his games. Dad and mom go at the 43-yard line. Anderson swings around the outside for a gain of 2. 2nd and 8.
You know, I know we're talking about an undefeated team here in the New England Patriots, but the undefeated team that started the season and the team that's on the field right now are 2 entirely different teams. I mean, Jamie Collins and Dante Hightower, the 2 guys that this defense was really built around, and no more.
And the receiver situation is a complete mess right now. 2nd and 8. Over the middle, caught a yard shy of the first down at the 48-yard line. Owen Daniels plucks that one out of the air. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Watch C.J. Anderson. We've seen him with brilliant runs. Watch him step around and pick up Mayo on this one. Right underneath the chin strap. Just buckles his head straight back. That'll slow down that blitz.
3rd and 1. And timeout is taken. You get 2 in overtime.
This is their first. A 30-second timeout.
At one point during the game, a 14-point lead for New England, but then Harper couldn't handle the punt, led to a Denver recovery and a touchdown. And the holding call on Chung, which negated would have been a sack and made it 3rd and goal from the 19-yard line. This is not 4th down territory, right, Chris? I mean, you can't take a chance to give New England the ball in midfield. So this is a key play on 3rd down here. C.J. Anderson is the running back.
See if they go back to the sneak that they went to early in the game.
Instead of toss, Anderson, he'll get it, and plenty more. C.J. Anderson is going to go all the way, and the Denver Broncos win the game.
That is the end of the game.
The same exact play they scored the earlier touchdown on.
So only the Carolina Panthers are undefeated. And who would have guessed that at the beginning of the year? 10-1, Osweiler, the sudden star, 30-24.
Exact play that they scored going the other direction. And the Patriots and Vernon Davis with the block, just as he did on the first one, and only appropriate that C.J. Anderson brings home the bacon for Brock Osweiler. Go figure, Al Michaels. We have seen it all.
That's prime cut bacon. Anderson, that gives him 113 yards on the night. Osweiler threw for 270. Dad loving every moment, and he gets to live it again next week when Denver goes to San Diego. What a game. A 14-point deficit in the snow overcome. Brady Osweiler won.
I asked him if he had thought any at all about Brady Osweiler won. He said 2 times, on Wednesday when the press brought it up and today when you brought it up. He said, other than that, I just have to think about one play at a time out there. What a party this is going to be.